Whew. How's it going, guys? I am tired. I almost fell asleep today because it was such a boring, low volume kind of day. I managed to get my 20 points in, like the kind of target I got overnight. The overnight target I hit quite fast actually, but in general, I wasn't very busy today just because it was not moving very much. I have a few orders out that you might hear fill as I'm talking, but other than that, honestly, today was a boring day for me. I haven't put anything new on. I've closed some of my short-term longs that I put on. One I put on here, the other one I put on here. And now, like where today when we were testing that middle kelp on the 4 hour, I closed out most of it and see now if we are managing to get into the daily upper kelp again, that's where I'll hopefully be able to close the rest, and if not, then that will be fine as well because I'm already green no matter what on those. And as I told you guys, I have quite a few long-term, like July, August, September shorts on for the market, and that's actually something I want to talk about real quick. When we look at the list from yesterday, so like I had Twitter on the list, yes it worked. I had Twitter on the list, yes it worked. I had Walmart on the list, yes that worked. That's the thing. Like here you see what happens when the market goes crazy, because these are all the long calls that I made, and when the market goes crazy, then everything is correlated. The long calls are going to work out and the short calls are not going to work out, and so all my short calls from yesterday, they didn't work, obviously, because the market drives everything at the moment, and that's why I barely trade any individual stocks at the moment, unless it's something like Shopify that just made sense at the point where it was at here with this overextension. And now look, it's back up. So you got to take profits fast when you trade against the trend. So yeah, bonds are pulling back a bit today. See, like that's the thing. Here was a short call that I made, a short call of the market. We all thought, like if the bonds, if the market stays weak, the bonds are going to push. But the market was fairly strong today, so of course the bonds are going down. So it's always, like a general view on the market in these volatile times that define everything. So anyway, bonds are pulling back. Which is not a bad thing, I think, for now. If we get like another dip here, hopefully perhaps a little bit of a higher low, and then they won't go, that's fine with me. I don't care. So what basically now I'm gonna take this trend line I took out. I'm gonna keep this one just kind of for reference, but what matters most to me right now is that I'm 182.26 to, I guess, 184 kind of area, which is also the upper kelp, and depending on how when we break over that, that's more important to me in the bonds, for to gauge when the next move is coming. Gold had a big move today again. I have not taken my ads off that I put on in here and in here. This is still a very small position, but I think I want to see if this can test the upper kelp. So I will be trying to lock some into 1765, and then let the rest ride for the 1800. Perhaps, just looking at the lower time frame, this might try to take another dip here before it wants to go up, which I am not fussed about. All my gold positions, they have a lot of time left, so no matter what, I'm fine with that. One thing in the indexes that I wanted to point out is this Russell, which is actually really nice to see when you see like a nice clear bull flag kind of pattern, and like you're not going to see many more that look prettier than this one. Like a flat kind of consolidation after a push up. It's holding that 14. It's held it for the third time today. So if the market stays, like it wants to pop, perhaps we open up over this, or we get over this overnight, then this could push and perhaps reach, reach that kind of 1400 level, maybe even before we sell off. Again, like same with the market, 1, 2. I think it needs like a third push, and if you want to look at the measured move, this is how I draw the measured moves. Let's look at that. So this was actually even more than the measured move. So when you look at this now, we have this area, so it would actually coincide quite nicely with that 1400 level here, or 1370, 1380 for that third measured move up before we find like that kind of top and sell off again. Alright, now individual stocks. As I said, Twitter, yes, it worked perfectly, except for perhaps the gap over the trend line, but it was good enough like that, and it just pushed all day. So I hope someone took this. This was like such a nice flag, and I really found that interesting. And of course, like when the market helps like this, it's perfect. And when you look at this, actually, it's really interesting. So yesterday we got that 14 MA crossover, then today it gaps over, tests the 14 and heads higher. So quite interesting how those things, they just work out, and we will be doing the lessons on the actual systems with the Celts and the MAs very soon. Netflix, this is now pulled back into the upper Celt. There's probably still a bit of volatility from earnings, but I think this push into earnings is starting to digest, and it looks like it might be holding for now. So this might have like another push as well. It's holding, like those previous all-time highs that we've had from 2018. So as long as like this hold, even if it dips under a little bit, tests at 14, and then wants to go in the next few days, it's still very interesting. Just everything that I say at the moment, as I've pointed out in the beginning, it all depends on the market. So as long as the market doesn't do what like the bias kind of confirms, then you just don't want to trade it. Like it's more important than ever to consider market direction and like the trend of the market to take the appropriate trades and leave the other ones on the side. Autodesk popped up on my upper Celt scan that I showed you guys the other day. Kind of similar thing. This is a close one. So it closed over, and as you see, like it had like a bit of a pullback here into the 200. So with the market push, this might want to have a push into the 191 as well. Twilio from yesterday, as I pointed out, this looked quite good, for a long on the upper Celt, and it's holding it's holding a regression channel. Let's extend that regression channel though real quick, just to make it so when you look at that, like now obviously it's including this, but it held that upper Celt, and as I say, like it looks better for a long here now, and because of the market helped of course today, and technology kind of held, and like it just tested that previous high here. So this might want to test at 115 or something like that as well in the next few days. Previous like kind of top here is the 114 kind of area, so that's all fine. Like if you want to take along with the market with this one, I would say beyond. This one had news. I think that like it gets involved. I think Starbucks or something like that. They have like something going on. I think that was here. What I would want to see here is like a first, like a retest of the breakout levels before this can head higher. And most of all, like there's a trend line ahead as well. So be mindful of this. But if you want to look for more longs like this, a retrace here into the upper count might be interesting for this beyond as well. Walmart next one. I mean, Staples. This is actually really pretty, exactly how we like it. Like breaks over a resistance levels, breaks over the upper count, comes back to test it, and then held. So the market keeps pushing. As you see, I keep saying if the market does this, if the market does that, because everything's dependent on the market. But if this keeps pushing, this can head higher as well. Definitely, like yesterday would have been a nice entry, or today into the pullback. Let's bring up the 5-minute real quick and look at the intraday. So like right off the open, you got the chance to like take that long into that yesterday's close kind of level here. So that was definitely a nice opportunity here, and from then on like it was just upward, so really nice. Another one, another upper celt scan. Just be mindful as well, like while the market was green today, this one did gap up, but it then kind of faded all day, or just chopped, but it's holding the upper count in the daily. This is still looking good. This could still be considered kind of the pullback. So if we get like an open somewhere in this area tomorrow, and it manages to kind of pull back a little bit to test the upper count, this is definitely an interesting long as well. Tesla. This one's probably too late, but I find that this would probably been like if you wanted to take it, it was probably not close enough, but still like a nice little pullback into the upper count, and now it's back up. So here you can see like stuff that might not be super accurate, but just in context with how far it had pulled back after the breakout, this might have been valid for a small long as well, and now it's back up. Don't get too cocky with Tesla long. I think this is not going to stay up here in my opinion. We have a fair bit of resistance ahead here, and then of course like up here, and then in the 1,000 of course. So there's resistance ahead, and I don't think this is gonna hold for too long, and I think ATG pointed that out as well. This could easily, not easily, but this is could be a nice short back into 400, and or ATG even says 200, something like that. Not sure if that's going to pan out. He's the master, so who am I to question him? So 200 would be like somewhere down here. I think probably the 300 might be a more realistic level, but even that, like it would be an awesome short. Lastly, FedEx. This one looking a bit weak, just in relative. When you look at the relative strength to the market, how the market was pushing today, and this one has been fighting with the 14 for that whole time as the market was pushing higher, and today on a 2% up day in the market, this is down 1.5%. So that's what we would call relative weakness, and I think the 14 MA under close under 14 MA. I don't know if you want to take that trade because it's quite close to the 30. But what you could consider for this one, like other stocks like BA for example, that keep having that news, is once the market turns, these are the stocks that you could go to, since they have shown relative weakness, and once the market starts doing the same thing that they already want to do, that's when the trades in those stocks are going to work out. So I'm not sure if I would take a trade in here right now, but just something to point out how to trade relative weakness. Alright guys, that's it from me. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hope you get a bit more action. But as I said, this might just be a bit of a choppy week. I said that yesterday, I said on Monday. Let's just see what the market gives us, and then we will see enough action very soon. So you guys take care. I see you guys are playing Call of Duty. I'm just gonna sit back and drink a cup of coffee and look at pretty art stuff instead of playing Call of Duty. But you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.